Hi there, this is Mayan Shah, and today I have yet another beautiful coach. This is quite the gem, and as you'll see, the service history and the original and only owners of the bus were quite fanatical when it came to things such as maintaining their RV. Taking care of their RV was enjoyed. It explains a lot of the upgrades and the engine inspections you see in the records. The last top-end inspection was performed a couple of thousand miles ago. The wheels and tires were both sized up, which improved stability, and it also improved fuel economy. Underneath, you'll find new airbags which were put on within the last few years, including Koni Fsd Shocks, which reduce bounce back after force absorption, providing a significantly smoother ride than the standard shocks you'll find on a Dutch Star. When you start to look at all the big ticket upgrades such as the wheels and tires, the shocks, or the fact that the whole coach was reskinned and repainted King Air Flint colors by Newmar, it can start to drown out the plethora of smaller upgrades like RGB LED underlights, updated interior accent and dining chair fabrics, updated security lights, headlights, interior lights. I think you see the picture. This is not your average Dutch Star.
The front of the bus looks great, and there are many different reasons why it looks great. One of those reasons is, of course, the paint is free from anything serious. There's a couple little minor things you could nitpick, but the paint itself is in excellent shape. The headlights were replaced, so you can clearly see that they are very clear. And on top of that, these Ramco mirrors, which have these beautiful little convex blind spot mirrors on the bottom, they're heated, they have built-in cameras with infrared, so it's better at night, but they are in excellent condition. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if these were replaced as well, knowing this coach's history. The front pieces of glass are in excellent condition. The seals are absolutely spotless. For what this, sometimes you see older coaches where they've had replaced glass and they just, people mess up the seals, or if the body gets bent in any way, the seals won't fit perfectly. So that's sort of one of those signs that I like to look for when I'm checking out a coach. Now, you're going to notice a couple things that are different from the original Dutch Star and that make this thing very special. One of those things are the oversized tires and the oversized wheels. So this coach was maintained at Spartan and at Newmar since the day it was bought by the original and only owner of this coach. The front wheels were replaced. They're slightly bigger and they fit 305 size tires. On the back, the tires were upgraded from 275 size to 285 size, just giving them slightly wider track. And the previous owner actually noticed that this increased his fuel mileage, and he was telling me that he was getting in the 7.1 to 7.3 miles per gallon when he was driving this coach, which is actually really solid for what this is. Oh, and by the way, while we're speaking about the tires and everything, the tires are all brand new. We have brand new Ironman tires in the back, and we have brand new Toyo tires in the front with those same oversized spec tires. And the speedometer was also recalibrated, so you won't have any discrepancies. You know what? I'm gonna pause for a second and I wanna gloat over this paint.
In overcast lighting, the bus looks slippery and shiny. And while the original owner had the bus reskinned by Newmar, meaning all of the sidewalls were replaced and repainted, some minor paint checking did come back. As close as this bus is to perfect, you'll never see one that is absolutely perfect, that's for sure. That being said, when you see the bus in the sunlight, it's something else. The black comes alive with a deep aquamarine metallic that glints as you walk by. It was repainted 2006 King Air Flint colors by Newmar.
And now that we've found ourselves at the back of the coach, let's dive into some more chassis side things and appreciate that gorgeous, just chopped off rear end that this coach has. So this has a 370 horsepower Cummins And this was an optional feature over the 350 horsepower, but it's a pretty big difference when you consider the fact that this means instead of getting the 8.3 liter, we have the 8.9 liter Cummins ISL. So it's producing around 1,200 foot-pound of torque. It has a cold air intake, if you will. You have these vents up here and the intake sucks down through this filter so you get cooler air. And the side radiator setup of this coach allows you to have beautiful access to this engine. If you ever need to change a belt, it's just nice to have better access. And with 174,000 miles, a lot of important stuff has been done.
And I lied to you about the horsepower. This coach is actually producing 400 horsepower. It's been properly broken in at 175,000 miles. And it's been proven by Cummins. There's documentation that goes with the bus that show that this coach is producing 400 horsepower and 1,250 foot-pound of torque. This is a stock engine. It has replaced turbo. The top end was inspected a couple thousand miles ago. All the service has been documented and taken care of since this coach was brand new.
And let me tell you, it drives like a dream. This has all new airbags. They were replaced about a year and a half ago. That's a pretty big deal on a Spartan chassis. And you know, on top of all the other upgrades, it's important to see that they age out.
And on top of having the airbags replaced, the shocks were replaced and upgraded to Koni Fsd Shocks. This combined with the upgraded wheels and tires make the coach feel absolutely planted. Now, as we continue on with the passenger side of the coach, we do have an electric patio awning, which works great, and the fabric is in excellent condition as well. There's an electric double step that's automatic. And yes, it does have RGB underlights that set the coach off at night. And as you walk inside the coach, you'll notice in the stepwell that we lined it with the LVP floor and took out the carpet. So as soon as you step into the coach, you notice that brand new floor.
So it's 45 degrees outside right now, and I'm standing in this very toasty interior. Here to my left, so this is the driver side slide out. We have a nice recliner here. It's in pretty good shape. And this is a 35-inch slide out right here. And there's a desk set up, Corian countertop. We've got a little outlet port so you could set up a printer down there pretty easily. There, you know, you'll notice as you go through the coach, especially up here, the little wood trim pieces around the windows. They just give it a nice look. And again, it's nothing that's way in your face. Now, the carpet has all been replaced. So the history on this bus, when we first got it, it had a newer carpet. So it had been replaced already. It definitely deserved this floor. This is a $269 per square foot LVP floor. It's not super cheap. It's decently high level, and we picked it out. We tried to get something that matched pretty nicely in here, and obviously that's never going to be perfect, but I think it goes pretty well. It's a classic look. It's brand new floor. It has some texturing to it, so you know, some of that cheap stuff, it's just like perfectly smooth, and it doesn't, like, this could pass off as like an engineered hardwood. And the good thing about this is it's waterproof as well. Now, one interesting drawer I want to point out. So first of all, we have all kinds of RV information. So this has the original schematics for this specific coach. Look how thick this is. Some of this is, I will admit, is like there's a little thick brochure here on the Koni Shocks. But lots of service has been done. Operator manuals, blah, blah, blah.
So not only do we have all of the original manuals and wiring schematics for this specific coach, we have an incredible amount of service records. We've got data, information, graphs. We've got part numbers. We've got backup part numbers. So if you can't find one, you've got a backup part number. There's an incredible amount of information and data that goes along with this coach. And it's just simply too extensive to get to all of it in this video. And I figured it's worthwhile to show that this coach does have a good chunk of interior space with the slides closed. It gets a little pinched when the countertop comes close to the driver's side slide, but you can still get through relatively comfortably, and the refrigerator can come open completely. Now up front here, we have a Samsung LED TV, and I like it's a full HD. I mean, it looks pretty good, but you know, you could always put a 4K smart TV if you wanted to. Up on the right here, we have our control center. So you have our Xantrex inverter control, we have a block heater, we have an electric water heater in addition to our 12-gallon propane fired heater. Well, actually it's the same heater, but there's an immersion element in the heater, but it's a 12-gallon, which is cool. A lot of coaches that had propane fired water heaters that were nicer had 10 gallons. This coach has quite large tanks. Again, you know, it has 150 gallons of fuel, which is massive for a 40-footer, 105 of fresh, 65 of gray, and I believe 45 of black. So sizable tanks. 45 is pretty good. You'll see 45 gallons even on 43-foot coaches. So I would say relatively oversized tanks for a coach this size. You can see all the measurements are put out here, so that's how I knew 35 inches on that slide, 20 inches on that side, a 12-volt disconnect, smart power, so it'll manage your power, let you know what kind of power is coming into the coach. Now we've got gray, fresh, you can check your tanks and all that good stuff. All kinds of security lights, so I think I touched on this earlier, but the security lights are a Newmar thing, and it has been updated to newer Newmar lights, so they're not the original 05s, they look newer than that. It's one of many upgrades on the bus. Now these two, of course, swivel, as you see, and they are not in perfect condition. You know, you look at this, there's like a small little pinhole there. There's probably a handful of pinholes, but yeah, the reality of being an 05, this one has a couple little pinholes if I were to nitpick, but overall they're in pretty good shape actually. You know, they're not peeling or anything like that. This reclines, it works great. You know, they're all electric, they swivel nice, and they're good. They're a good setup here. Now you do have outlets right behind both of these chairs, so there are outlets there, and both of them have been updated to USB type, so you can plug USB straight into there in addition to the 110. Now, we've also got a Cat 5, so that seems to be to be honest, I'm not sure exactly where that goes. There are a lot of upgrades on this coach, and you know, we have some other very, very high dollar coaches that don't have the thickness that this coach has as far as service records and updates. So there are a lot of details that come free of charge, and sometimes we joke around, we say free of charge when an issue comes free of charge, you know, or not an issue, but like a flaw or cosmetic flaw, say, oh, it comes free of charge, that scratch. But on this coach, seriously, a lot of free of charge things include nice benefits and upgrades that we don't even notice because the level of care on this coach is next level. Now over here we have our couch. This does jackknife. It doesn't have an air mattress, which honestly it would have been nice if this had an air mattress. There is storage down below. So let's see, there's a little latch. It comes open. So there's some storage. The leather is in good shape. You know, it's not perfect, again, 05, but actually in good shape, not peeling or anything like that. And it is a jackknife, so if you really wanted to, you could replace that with a air mattress pull-out. But overall, it's in good shape, and it's still a pretty comfortable couch. Now, by the way, a lot of these lights are dimmable. There's a halfway point, and you can go dim, so you can really get a nice atmosphere in here. Now, a lot of these lights have been upgraded to M4 LEDs. So you can see their website, M4, they sell LEDs. The manual is in there. A lot of upgrades along those lines. I think he was playing around with different types. There's a bunch of bulbs in the back, so you can kind of play with it how you like it. A couple of lights have been left in the vanity. I think sometimes people like warm light. It's up to you, but a lot of the upgrades to LEDs have been done. Now, while it's cold, I want to point on a little small topic. So some of you out there, if you're camping in the cold or if you plan on that, you might be concerned about the tile. So this tile is actually really warm right now. I have my socks, I can feel it. I have the furnace heat on, so that's probably why. There's vents down in the bays. So all of this tile is warm. The tile on the front over there, a little cool, okay? It has heated up a lot, and it probably will become around ambient temperature in here. But it is cooler than this tile. This tile feels significantly warm, probably about 78, 79 degrees, this tile. It's pretty nice. So it's not heated tile, but you could honestly probably trick people if you were standing in the right couple of places. So yeah, that it does have heated tile. Corian countertops here. I'm glad they didn't go straight white because that would date the coach. Little trim of a deep midnight blue. And that midnight blue kind of becomes a small backsplash here. Now, right here is a nice thing. I've always loved this type of cover. So 3-burner gas stove, high output, and this you can either remove completely or you can have it folded up.
best of both worlds. That is the way to go. It's a Korean cover, and you can use it like a cheap old school one, which is honestly really convenient, especially on the road. You don't want to put it up, or you can take it out like a high-end coach. So very thoughtful. Convection oven, microwave up here, GE profile, not powered because we're running off batteries. That's right, we're running the furnace, lights, great batteries. And yeah, they do the job. It's cold outside too. While we're talking about food, cutting board, right? Korean. That's a very thoughtful thing. They use it as a cutting board too. I can see the cuts. That is what it's intended for, because guess what? Not only do you have this little Korean cutting board, in addition to lots of storage, we have an extension here out of Korean. And again, trimmed in that midnight blue, goes perfect and becomes just a slightly bigger countertop here. Goes down. I like this little hutch area, if you will. It's lit. This entire piece is absolutely gorgeous. If you look at this solid pieces of wood and just all the little details that are cut into this wood, look at these pieces and the way they meet right there. I mean, look at that. Try to get in on that shot. The way they meet here, I mean, you can't even tell. It's absolutely gorgeous woodwork. This piece is just so it's so classy and tasteful too. It's a gray color. There's really not almost any old school colors in this bus. It's a very tasteful interior, and all of these fabrics are in superb condition. In fact, those have to be custom, right? They're absolutely beautiful. I think those are custom. Look at this. This is another thing you get free of charge on this Dutch Star. I was about to pass it free of charge. Now we're about to go up on price. Check them out. Okay, get up close. They're absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Is that a moose? I don't know if they call the moose males bucks. I really don't know. They definitely don't. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. Let's cut that out. This is beautiful too. Solid wood. It truly gives you kind of that classic kind of home vibe, and I like that. This extends. We have fold-out chairs as well, and oh my, look at that. They replaced this fabric too. That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. What's the other one? Is it the same? It's the same graphic on the other one, with a river and. Yeah, this is a solid piece of furniture right here. Again, classic American home feel here. Classic posh American home, not trying to prove anything. Before I glaze over this 4-door fridge, it's worth noting that it will run on either propane or electric like a classic RV fridge. It's super clean, which is not surprising when you look at the rest of the bus, and it has an ice maker. So the bathroom space here is pretty spacious. We have a sink over here, and the sink has a couple little chips on it. We have an outlet back here, again, dimmable lights, a bright vanity, and a nice little clock here that also has the temperature showing us about 75 degrees in here, the humidity. This, I think we have parts of the door or something, but previous owners actually said they preferred this, and I could see why. Those doors are honestly pretty infuriating. They always get water out here, and they're always dripping. But if you wanted to put a door back in, you could. I would personally leave it like this. It's really big, actually. It's pretty deep. Like, I can get way back in here. This is a pretty good sized shower here. Now, this shower curtain is brand new, too. We took out the old one and put that one in its place. Now, right here, we have our bathroom. So that's a porcelain toilet. Got our own sink in here, which I really like having a sink for the toilet room. Nice. You've got a window, fantastic fan, storage, and there's a heater vent in there so it keeps nice and warm when it's cold. Now this is pretty unique here, this door. We have a nice door here, glass. There's shades to give it privacy, and I kind of like it because I would imagine the noise passing through would probably be a lot better with this kind of setup versus a pocket door. So opens right up, and then you can step inside. Now we put the floors back here too, so these are brand new LVP floors in the back. There is storage everywhere, all over here, all solid wood. Vent out, so that window will actually vent out so you can get a good draft in here if you have some nice weather. Again, beautiful wood, nice fabrics and trims up here. This is plumbed for a washer dryer, so if you wanted to put one in, you could. but this is all absolutely pristine in here, and the hookups are there. Got an ironing board, huge storage up top. So I would imagine you'd have to measure it out, but you might be able to get a stacker in here depending on what's down below. Yeah, you actually might be able to. I'm not sure. That's a question to be asked later, but at the very least you could put in a washer dryer combo. Shut that before I forget. Now this is pretty special back here. Not only do we have a safe, we have a Cedar lined wardrobe. Now this Cedar was done later. This is not factory. This is an upgrade. We've got a nice little carpeted thing here. You can put shoes and purses and whatnot. But yeah, the Cedar lining is beautiful. You can smell it. It smells amazing. So this is accessible from both sides. These little tabs hold them in place. And oh, that's so nice. They replaced the fabric on the fold-out chairs too. Look at that. That's the extra detail there. One of many. Now, brand new carpet all around here. So again, this had new or fresher carpet up here, back here, but we just wanted to go ahead and upgrade it. We felt like this looked a lot better too. So all around the bed, all up next to it, all brand new carpet. And of course, then we have the new LVP floor. Now, this bed is surrounded. It has a nice little headboard matching all the other wood trim pieces. Deep storage back here too. You've got nice reading lights, windows too, and the windows back here are surrounded in wood. So instead of having fabrics, you just have wood, and I think it gives it a really nice look, especially if you were to wake up and it kind of feels like you're surrounded by wood. It's like a wood cabin almost. But yeah, this is a beautiful, just a super comforting and warm bedroom space back here. Sony TV, of course, but yeah, just being in it, it's just so warm and inviting. It makes you want to just stay and enjoy the night and just... Let's go check out the cockpit and some of the controls, and then we're going to hit the road. And this coach is quite magnificent on the road. Let's get to it. We have a smart wheel here, which means the steering wheel has all of our controls for the cruise control, as well as the buttons to flash the headlights and the taillights, and your windshield wiper control. And it has the intermittent control as well, so you can set exactly how much time you want in between each pulse, which is quite nice. You can also start your generator from up here, and there is a battery boost. Now, as far as the gauges go, they're classic Spartan gauges, which I have a slight bias to. Headlight controls over to the left, as well as the 6-speed 3000 series Allison transmission control over on the left. And the transmission fluid has always been changed, filter has always been changed, and the hydraulic fluid for the hydraulic leveling system has always been changed, as well as the filter for that. And that hydraulic system works perfectly. Now you can dump the bags as well. Now, the mirrors are heated and they're electrically adjustable, and they absolutely destroy all your blind spots. The LVP floor was continued into the cockpit, and it was professionally executed. Dash AC blows ice cold, the compressor was replaced, and that is a rare feat for an RV. And one thing I wanted to note before we go on this test drive is that I didn't know about the documentation from Cummins proving that this coach was actually making 400 horsepower and 1,250 foot-pound of torque. It just felt incredible to me, and it's not shocking, and it wasn't shocking afterwards finding the documentation. So without further ado, let's jump into that test drive, and I think I started off blabbing about the brakes. We've got a lot of upgrades, and as you can see, the brakes were replaced within the last couple of years, and they feel fantastic. They feel brand new. We're coming up on some traffic here. Exhaust brake is strong. And you know, there's something about these old Spartans and Newmars. There's loud fan noise and it just sounds good. It's a great sounding engine. And the 370 is making all kinds of power. More than when it was new, for sure. And this one has a replaced turbo as well. So not an original turbo. And Koni Shocks are some of the best. They're built in Oregon. They're excellent shocks, and new airbags help us too. You know, and it's not just those bigger wheels and bigger tires. The way the front end feels, it's so planted. It's so planted. It just gives you this sense of confidence when you're driving the bus. It feels tight, and I'm gonna shut this. I kind of like having my window open so I can hear the turbo and the engine and everything. It's really easy to keep it centered in the lane too. When you set yourself up between the lanes and you got yourself a good point, you got your eyes set, you can just allow the coach to set in that groove, if you will, once you find it. And I'm flying into an exit here, so I'm gonna come off, engage the engine brake, going from 60, haven't touched the brakes. We're all the way down to 50 here. I apologize for the terrible roads and the rattles that it causes. Down to 40, down to 35, down to 30, and all the way down to about 11 miles an hour. So 11 miles an hour. If you time it right, you only have to use your brakes under 11 miles an hour.
And this exhaust brake is even more useful if you plan on towing heavier loads, because this coach can tow up to 10,000 pounds. This same drivetrain is what they're using in 43-foot tag axle coaches. And all around, I have been impressed by this bus. The way it drives with all the upgrades and the bigger wheels, and I've been talking everyone's ears off about it. Okay, let's walk through the bays. All right, so we have begun the compartment tour, and the first one on the passenger side here is a little slide tray. There's extension cords in here, power outlets, all that good stuff. Those are extra little vents for the ceiling. Looks like he had them out cleaning them. Carpeting in here is in pretty good shape. Got an awning rod, pass-through storage there. Another full pass-through, lots of little extra goodies throughout the bus, extra accessories. It's got a key for the fuel fill. Looks like, some nice tire guards, it looks like, or something. Lots of goodies though. Look at that. Oh, nice brush. Oh yeah. There's all kinds of extra parts that go with the coach. It's just nice to have. Again, it's like better than buying new. Got another pass through here. There's a lot of storage on this. Outlets. Looks like you got a coaxial. Of course, our inverter up here. This is classic Newmar. We've got tanks and such back there. Again, tanks are pretty dang big. 150 gallon fuel, 105 fresh, 65 gray, and 45 black. It's pretty dang good. Now this is a nice little workshop. You can use it as you'd like. Nice little tool center. Storage here, you can see some of the components for your slide. Got batteries over on the left. We've got 4 coach batteries, Duracell. Those are a proper 6 volts. And then we've got 2 engine batteries on the left. Filter center down there. I like that the filters are protected like that. That's pretty cool. And yeah, fresh service, check that out. Back in the back, this is the 8.85 liter ISL Cummins, originally producing 370 horsepower and 1,200 foot-pound of torque. And now, as it's been proven, it is producing 400 horsepower and 1,250 foot-pound of torque. This is the Allison 3000 transmission, 6-speed Allison push button. We've got the Koni Fsd Shocks. This is one heck of a riding coach. All new, larger wheels, newer, bigger tires, recalibrated the speedo so it's all proper and correct. I've got all kinds of interesting information in the bus. It's pretty crazy. So side radiated setup, which means you have this huge, nice access on the back. And that flap, it'll come up so you can get to that radiator easier. 50 amp power cable, automatic transfer switch. What is that little feller? Normal high voltage line 1. It's a protector, that's really nice. In addition to your automatic transfer switch over there. This is our plumbing bay. We have a flush on the black tank, which is nice. Low point drains. We've got a basement heater blower fan, which is pretty nice. So it'll keep it warm down here. Water filter on the right. Here's that other pass through. There's our 12-gallon propane fired water heater that also has an electric element in it. Other side of the pass through, and this will come out, this tray will come out on this side too. Pass through, full propane tank here in excellent condition. Surface rust on it, but overall in great shape. Got a fire extinguisher out here too, that's pretty cool. You can see in the records that the hydraulic fluid was changed regularly, the coolant was changed regularly, the filter on the hydraulic pump was changed regularly. These are things that you normally don't see people take care of. This is chassis side, mostly fuses. And believe it or not, that 8 kilowatt is on a slide out tray. You wouldn't believe it. It's such a smooth front end with the way all of this fits back in together. It looks pretty seamless, and on a Dutch Star and the way it looks, you wouldn't expect to have a slide out tray, but you really do. So much easier access to your generator. Got a hydraulic pump over there. You can see you got storage up in the front here. These headlights were replaced about 2 years ago. One of these were replaced. So the coach has had a Hawkeye on it all the time. There's none of that. It's dirty right now. I apologize. It's been raining and this is being recorded way later than the main portion of this video. But even though it's dusty and stuff, no oxidation or anything like that. I believe it was this one that was replaced about 2 years ago. So there, oh, there's a small little chip there. It looks like something hit it. But none of the bubbling or anything like that. These are in excellent shape. The roof is a Bright Tech with aluminum framing underneath, and it is in excellent condition. And while it's not perfectly clean in this clip here, walking around you can tell that it was well taken care of. And again, with the context of the rest of the coach, it's not shocking. But all of the seals are solid. The antenna as well as the satellite dish look great too. And those awesome air horns are mounted on the roof. Now in the center of the roof, just below, about 3 layers, your ductwork for the air conditioning system. So it has an intake and it has an outtake, which quiets the noise and also is better for circulation. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this coach and this video. And if you're interested, my phone number is 864-376-5600 and it will be displayed on the screen as well. I'll catch you all on the next video.